Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and for today's video we're going to be having something a little different than usual. Okay, so across the years I've been getting a lot of requests in the comments of my retro battle videos for the deck list that I use. So I finally decided to showcase all the decks in my collection. At first I wanted to put all the decks into one video, but I've got almost 200 decks at this point, and I didn't really feel like making a video that long. So instead I'm going to separate them by format, starting with the base set through fossil format. And if this video gets enough support, I'll keep the series going. So be sure to leave a like and comment on this video if you want me to make another one. And also, I want to let everyone know that I originally got these lists from 3-time world champion Jason Klaczynski's blog, which I'll link in the video description below if you want to check it out for yourself. Alright, before I get into the actual decks in my collection, I wanted to start with some honorable mentions. I call these honorable mentions because they're not actually part of my permanent collection. I only built these decks for 1 or 2 videos before I took them apart, but they're actually in the most popular videos on the channel, so it'd be a shame not to include them. These are the base set only decks. First off, we've got the Blastoise deck. It has the Pokemon Power Rain Dance, which lets Blastoise get around the 1 energy per turn restriction, which lets it power up its attackers immediately in a single turn. In this format, Blastoise is partnered with Gyarados, that has a powerful Dragon Rage and Bubble Beam attacks that can hit for either 50 damage or 40 damage with a chance of paralysis. And Blastoise itself is also a pretty decent attacker with its Hydro Pump attack, being able to deal up to 60 damage, provided it has 5 energy attached to it. Up next we got the Machamp and Alakazam deck. Machamp is the main attacker in this deck, dealing 60 damage with its Seismic Toss attack, and can also deal 10 damage with his Pokemon Power Strikes Back every time Machamp is damaged by the opponent's Pokemon. Alakazam is there to keep Machamp healthy with his Pokemon Power Damage Swap, moving the damage counters off of Machamp onto one of the Chansey on the bench, which can then be healed with Pokemon Center. And Chansey can also be used as a backup attacker with its double edge attack hitting for 80 damage. And finally we've got the Zapdos and Electrode deck. This is a really fast and aggressive deck, using Electrode's Pokemon power to quickly power up Zapdos in 1 or 2 turns. By using the Pokemon power Buzz Zap, Electrode knocks itself out but can also equip itself onto Zapdos, counting as 2 lightning energy, to quickly power up the Thunder or Thunderbolt attack. Thunder can hit for 60 damage, but also has the 50-50 shot of inflicting 30 damage recoil to Zapdos, and Thunderbolt can hit for a massive 100 damage, tied for the most powerful attack in the base set with Charizard's Fire Spin attack, but it also requires Zapdos to discard all of its energy to use the attack. Okay, that was it for the honorable mentions. Now we can move on to the actual list from the base set through fossil format. Okay, the first deck is going to be the Blastoise deck again, but now the Gyarados has been swapped out for Articuno. Articuno makes for a better partner because it's a basic Pokemon, it has no weakness, and it's also resistant to Hitmonchan, one of the most powerful Pokemon in this format. Because Blastoise is a Stage 2 Pokemon, it normally takes 2 turns to evolve into it, but the player can also use Pokemon Breeder to skip the Wartortle stage. Like before, Blastoise can use its Pokemon Power Rain Dance to quickly power up Articuno's attacks, or itself. Up next we got the Arcanine deck. This deck is going to be focused on taking big knockouts as early as turn 2. On the first turn, the player is going to be using Psyduck to Trainer Lock the opponent with its Headache attack, while setting up a Voltorb and a Growlithe on the bench. On the second turn, the player is going to be using Bill, Professor Oak, and Computer Search to search through their deck for Electrode, Arcanine, and double colorless energy. Electrode's going to be knocking itself out with its Pokemon Power Buzz Zap, and then equipping itself onto Arcanine as a double fire energy, while the double colorless energy is used to power up the Takedown attack. And with Takedown, Arcanine can knock out most basic Pokemon as it deals 80 damage. Last can also be used to shuffle away all the trainer cards in the opponent's hand before they get a chance to use them. Up next we got the Clefable deck. Clefable's going to be a really versatile attacker with its Metronome attack, letting it copy the opponent's attacks for a single colorless energy. The deck also uses Dodrio to give the Pokemon a free retreat cost with its Pokemon Power Retreat aid, and can also switch between Electabuzz and Hitmonchan as the main attackers, in case Clefable needs to hit for a different weakness. The next one is going to be the Dragonite deck. It's more of a combo deck that uses Dodrio and Dragonite to give the player an infinite number of switches by using Dragonite's Pokemon Power Step In to get into the active spot, and then retreating for free using Dodrio's Pokemon Power Retreat aid. Kangaskhan and Hitmonchan can also be used as backup attackers by using the Fighting Energy and double colorless energy. And now we've got the Moltres Mill deck. This is a pretty unique deck that doesn't focus on taking 6 prizes, but instead on decking out the opponent using Moltres' Wildfire attack. With Wildfire, Moltres can discard a fire energy from itself to also discard the top card from the opponent's deck. Lickitung, Chansey, and Mr. Mime can also be used to wall out the opponent by soaking up damage and then healing with Pokemon Center or Scoop Up. Energy Removal and Super Energy Removal are also used to continuously stall out the opponent by preventing them from attacking. Up next, we've got the Mewtwo and Electabuzz deck. This deck focuses on using 2 of the strongest basic Pokemon in the format to hit for fast and aggressive damage. Mewtwo also has the added bonus of getting around energy removal and super energy removal with its energy absorption attack, as it can power itself up from the discard pile. And Mew is also in the deck to counter the opponent's Mewtwo, as it can knock it out in a single hit with its Psywave attack with a single plus power. And now we've got the Magmar in Electabuzz deck. Like the Mewtwo in Electabuzz deck, this deck also focuses on using big basic Pokemon to deal fast damage, and it also uses Scyther and Ditto. Magmar is a more consistent attacker than Mewtwo, as it can deal damage with a single energy, and plus it can also disrupt the opponent with its Smokescreen attack. And Ditto can also be used as a really versatile attacker, as any energy card attached to Ditto can count as a rainbow energy, including the double colorless energy. And my final deck in the base set through fossil format is the Wigglytuff deck. This deck starts out by using Magmar to stall out the opponent using the Smokescreen attack, while a Wigglytuff is set up. And then Wigglytuff can deal big damage with its Do the Wave attack, which deals 10 damage plus 10 more damage for every Pokemon on the player's bench. So with the full bench, Wigglytuff can deal 60 damage, and because most of the big basic Pokemon in the format only have 70 HP, Wigglytuff can take a one-hit KO against them with the plus power. And that's gonna do it for my base set through fossil decks. So what did you guys think of this video? If you want to keep seeing more videos like this, just let me know down in the comments below, and I'll continue with the base set through gym format. Okay, that's gonna do it for now. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.